Welcome to the Resistance, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about just a handful of stocks today because not a whole lot happened in terms of price-sensitive news, but we did have a macro play on lithium that we'll get into shortly. So what we have, we're just going to take a brief look at uranium, which came off 2.2%, I think it was, in post-market on Friday night or Saturday morning, and then uranium spot price didn't really do anything, just went sideways. So BOE's come off about 3.7% today. Ideally, I wouldn't want to see this below 118. So the idea, what I'm thinking out loud, is a heavy add-on point at around 118.5, 119, and then a stop at about 113, 114, or start cutting at that point in time. There's only so much I'd be willing to take on this while it's still currently in a downswing. It's showing signs of life, but that's not really enough for me to just hold on for 6 months and just let it go, not touch it or not look at it. I still got to manage the risk. So as long as it sort of stays within this range and doesn't dip too far below 118, then it's still a goer. But this isn't exactly a strong reversal. We did get this based on the sentiment from just before the weekend hit, and that was the uranium news between India and Australia. So we're going to take a look at Vulcan before we take a look at the other one, which is IGO. So this is a swing that we started, and I've been talking about, go away. So I've been talking about Vulcan at 280 as a level for quite some time. We've been sort of waiting for this to happen, and I did not spot this until it actually broke down. I think it was like 11 o'clock-ish, maybe a little bit earlier, that I spotted this was coming off. And I was like, holy shit, this actually cracked 280 without any issues whatsoever. Decent volumes. And the funny thing is, spot, if we look at the intraday, was gapping down negative 2.5%, which looked brutal. But then it recovered straight away, basically. And then it hit even positive 1%, so 3% swing, whilst a lot of these lithium plays were down 6%, I think it was. Yeah, we hit 6% down today. So as it hit 270, and I saw it at negative 6%, and then it kind of held here, going sideways, and that's where I started buying. I queued up for 270. I don't think I got filled. I didn't actually check, but I definitely got 271 and 272, 100%. And yeah, it kind of just went to VWAP. This wasn't a day trade. This is kind of this idea that I'm thinking of for a dip, and I don't want to say dip and rip, but the idea is for it to reverse straight back into range as soon as possible, either by tomorrow or the day after. So there's a couple of scenarios here. We talked about this earlier in one of my first 5 videos in this series, where I think it was EOS or DRO just instantly reversed, right? So it faked out and then reversed. Now, the thing with this is it has to happen very soon, very quickly. So either tomorrow or the day after. If it starts drifting and then coming up slowly, hitting support or resistance now, and then, yeah, that'll just come off. But what we have is, at the moment, a really nice entry. This is fantastic for the simple fact that, yes, okay, fine, it's broken support. Doesn't look crash hot. It's not on monstrous volumes. But what we have is a small dip. Tomorrow gives us an opportunity for an absolute sick risk to reward play. Now, our risk is minimized, right? This is how much risk we're no longer taking, right? We're stopping at maybe 262. So now we have maybe 10 cents risk, 9 cents risk, instead of 20 cents risk, which is initially what we had in mind, roughly in mind. So let's assume we bought 280 today. Let's say 280 was roughly the bottom, maybe 280, 281. We get 282 instead of 272. We would have about 20 cents of risk. Now we have 10 cents with the exact same idea in mind. Just because it's dipped a little bit below support doesn't change the fact that our stop loss is still 262. We just halved our risk. So that's my line of thinking on this one. The odds of this reversing, now there are a couple of macro factors in play. One is the hold here on the daily chart. We'll see if this continues down or not. That's going to be a major factor in this trade, is whether the lithium spot price continues down. The second one is whether the lithium ETF continues down, and if so, how far down, because that will also drag Vulcan down as well. And then if it drags Vulcan down, the question becomes, well, where's the new bottom for Vulcan? So there's, we're not going to hold this all the way down to 240, we'll simply exit at 260. We'll revisit probably $2 to $1.60 at that point. Technically, there's just nothing left if this cracks through to. I think if it hits 262, the odds of reversing drastically diminish. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it just heavily diminishes, and that's why we set a stop loss there. Because if it hits 262 or 260, the likelihood of reversing and making us profit just drops hard, drops off a cliff. Again, not to say it can't, but that's what I'm saying, and that's the likelihood of what will happen. What could happen if it does hit 260? It can bounce to about 277, 280 to retest, and then come off. So the break, retest. You guys know how that works. You've been watching this channel long enough. So there's that idea for a swing trade. So yeah, I'm sort of just justifying, in length to why I bought this thing, even though it broke support. So the odds of this maybe failing is probably more than 50-50. The odds are probably higher, probably 60-40 that it does in fact continue the breakdown. Maybe 65-35, but I think the risk to reward is absolutely sensational. So if we have 270, let's say 271 to 262, something like that, 3.5%, and then our upside would be somewhere around 27%. 25. So the risk to reward there I think is absolutely sensational. Even if it is a 35% chance of win rate, I think that's worth taking every day of the week. We have IGO. This one was interesting. The same sort of thing. It sold off heavily and then had a bounce, and that was the play today, is this recovery here. So we had a bit of volume exhaustion as it was hitting the lows today. So it just churned on high volumes, and that's what happens. I don't understand how this works from, people that put in big sums of money. Let's say $500,000 to $1 million, and they're just executing large trades at a time because maybe they just got a large holding. Maybe they got several $1 million worth and they're just offloading. But it's funny to watch the panic because it happens every single time. This isn't something new. This is just something that constantly reoccurs. Let's say you got a lithium stock like IGO. Let's see, what's the percentage down on this one? It was also pretty high. So it was just about almost 5% while the spot price is rallying. And then you got this heavy volumes of selling, and you can see it doesn't actually push the price down much. 1, 2, 3, and of course you got a seller here. So you got 4 big fat sellers and the price barely moves. That's kind of like accumulation, right? So it's just like, okay, let's start buying at the first sign of strength and then just take it to VWAP. So that's that. It was a very straightforward 1.5% or so. Like nothing crazy. Like it's not going to make you millions taking that sort of trade, but I thought it was quite clean, and just spotting the reversal because to me it seemed inevitable that the reversal would come. PLS kind of did the same thing. I think I didn't actually take a trade on PLS, but okay, no, didn't seem to do the same thing. Whoops. But okay, -5. Okay, it's a weaker, much weaker bounce. That's unfortunate, but it did close an auction nice and high. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Not really. I think that's it. Pretty straightforward day today. Just a little bit of a long, little bit of a swing trade as well on lithiums. And oh yeah, sorry, there was one more. I knew there was one more thing. We took SFR short, and it just broke down. It was lovely. We took it on this VWAP bounce. It kind of overshot a little bit, but we'll sort of expecting that 1850 round number. So instead of 1847, which is where VWAP was, extra few ticks, no big surprise. It hits a half number, 1850, whether it was 19, 1850, 18, doesn't matter. These round numbers are kind of a bit of a magnet. So hits it and just falls off and then rolls over. And then as this shoot up comes, as it starts coming back off, it's it's just cover basically. So it wasn't too exciting. Again, another 1.5%er or so. So 1.5% here, 1.5% there, and that's all it takes really, just to keep me afloat for another day until we find a big fucking swing out of the park. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hopefully something more exciting. Peace.